So now we want to make this edit user form actually work. It's fetching the details and it's filling the form in, but we want to be able to click update and have it update in the database. We already have the back-end endpoint for that. So let's jump back into VS Code and let's start with our constants. So user constants, I'm going to grab these 4 because we also want to reset for this. So let's change all these lists to update and save that and go into our reducer. And I'm going to copy this last one we did, which is the user delete reducer. And this is going to be the user update reducer. And we want to pass in the state here, just an empty user object. And then for the, let's change these to update. So for success, we're just going to keep this. We just want loading and success. We don't actually need to pass the user. And then on fail, that's fine. And then we also want to add case user update reset. And let's auto import that. And then here on the reset, we're just going to return the state object with an empty user. All right, so let's just import all of these. And check it out up here. All right, so that's our reducer. Now we have to add this to the store.js. So let's bring it in up here. Let's say user update reducer, and we're going to add it. We'll add it right below the delete. And we'll save that. Okay, so now we're going to go into our actions, user actions. And what do we have here? Let's copy the last action we created, which I think was the delete. So we'll grab this. Let's paste that in. And let's change the name of this to update user. And then this is going to take in the user object. And we're going to dispatch user update request. And then let's also pass in our content type. So that's going to be application/JSON. Now here we're going to create a variable, and we want to destructure the data that we get from this request, and it's going to be a put request to API user's ID, but we want to make sure we pass in the user here. And then as far as what we want to dispatch, we want update success, but I also want detail success, and then I want to pass that data, basically the updated user, into user detail so it trickles down through the state. So this will be detail success, and then we'll pass payload, which will be data, which will be the updated user. All right, and then let's just change this to update fail, and that should do it. Let's see what we got for errors here. ID is not defined. Oh, that's because we passed in up here the whole user object. So here we want to put user._ID, and then we just want to bring in those constants. So fail. And this one here, request. And let's just make sure that those are brought in. So we have, I don't know why it does this. So update fail, update success, and update request. Good. So we shouldn't have any more errors down here. So now that we have our action, let's go back to our user edit screen, because this is where we want to actually call that action. So I'm going to bring it in up here. So in addition to get user details, let's bring in update user. And I'm also going to bring in the user update reset constant, and I'm going to dispatch that from here. So let's say import user underscore update underscore reset, and that's going to come from constants user constants. And let's get this the user update state, because we need to know if it's successful or not. So I'm going to copy this, and let's set this to user update. And what we want to get from this is the loading, although I'm going to rename it to, we'll say loading update, and then error, we'll rename that to error update. And then we also want to know if it's successful, so let's say success and call that success update. And then in the use effect here, so we're checking for a user. Let's go above that because we want to check for the success update, because if success update, then we want to reset the user state or the update state, and then we want to redirect to the user list once it's updated. So let's say if success update, then we're going to dispatch type, and the type is going to be the user update reset. That probably imported, yeah, we don't want request, we just want reset. So we're going to reset, and then after that, where are we? So after we dispatch user update reset, we're going to go ahead and just redirect. So we'll say history.push, and we're going to push to /admin/user list. Now in the else, I'm going to put what we have here. So this if else, I'm just going to grab that and put that in here, because that means that success update is not true. And then we just want to pass in here success update. All right, now in the submit handler is where we want to call the update user action. So let's say dispatch update user, and that's going to take in the user. So let's pass in an object with an underscore ID, and we're going to set that underscore ID to the user ID, and we're going to pass in the name, the email, and the isAdmin value, and that should do it. Now down here in the output, we want to check for loading update and error update. So I'm going to go right below the H1 here, and let's just say loading update. So if loading update is true, then we're going to show the loader. And then we're also going to check for error update, and if that's true, we're going to show a message. And in that message, we want error update. Okay, so if we get some kind of error from making that put request, we should see it here. Let's see, history is missing from the dependencies. Okay, so now I think we're ready to try this out. So we have our John Doe user. Let's remove the E from his name. And remember, we're logged in as admin right now. So I'm going to update, and you can see that the name has changed, and the details comes down, details success, update reset, and then user list success, obviously because we come back to this page. And if we go back there, you can see that the E is gone. All right, so I'm going to try setting him to an admin. So if I go ahead and update, now you can see John is an admin. So now if I log out and log back in with John's account, I should then see the admin drop down, which is right here. So now I can see users, and I can do anything that this user can do. All right, cool. So we're now able to manage users. What I want to do next is basically basically the same thing, but for products. So we want to be able to see a list of products. We also want to be able to add them, edit them, and delete them.